Just 5 minutes east of downtown St. Louis, the Gateway Arch sits over this tricky flat mile-and-a-quarter oval that runs parallel to the Illinois Highway 203, with a tighter turn 1 and 2 radius and a sweeping turn 3 and 4. Round 14 of 24 on the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series' 7th season is at the virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, and it's coming right up. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer joining me alongside here in the virtual booth this evening, and we are excited to be bringing you live coverage from virtual Madison, Illinois. And last time out, it was a chaotic trip up to Milwaukee, where Jeffrey Radke outlasted the Carnage en route to his second victory on the season. Well, tonight, it is another dose of high-speed flat oval racing for these truckers tonight. We'll see if mayhem can be avoided, or who can come out on top of the melee on top. JB, welcome to Gateway. We missed you last week, and hope you had a great New Year. I think this, oh no, we had you on the 7th, but we did miss you last week. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. Obviously, in the booth with you doing these races on Tuesday nights, one of my favorite places to be. Fortunately, we've had to miss a couple of the last ones just due to travel and other work and stuff like that. And still working all the SRN facets in between, but looking for a good night tonight. Always good to be back. And when I looked at the schedule tonight, coming back to this race to try to prepare for what was coming, I realized how close we are to the playoffs. I mean,
Absolutely.
We're talking a couple weeks, and so tonight means just a little bit more because, if you're one of those guys that's in the top 20 in points, it's still winning you're in. And so it could be an opportunity for some of those guys who've started looking at points and know that it's a little far-fetched for them to try to point their way in. They're going to have to get maybe a little bit more aggressive on the racetrack or aggressive in strategy to get the checker flag and ultimately bring home a win to qualify them for the playoffs. So lots of storylines to go into the race. I think we'll talk about them as we go. But Gateway, fun track, unique. As far as NASCAR standards as well, in the last couple of years, we've done some really fantastic races. I think we'll kind of get into this.
Absolutely, and so it's time to get into our starting lineup tonight for round 14 here from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. And on the pole, it's a familiar name back atop the timing sheet. It's the 59 of Drake Gardy. Kyle Spees will start second, James Shainwolf then in third. How about Austin DeLong up there in P4, Sean Corcoran out of the Rolo Tonys P5, Jeffrey Radke P6. Row 4 will be Michael Seidor and David Flanagan, with Dalton McKinney and Wally Babb rounding out the top 10, JB.
Rolling off 11th is going to be Scott Kalal, 12th Trevor Armsworth, who is replacing Justin Smith on that team, Jason Kratke 13, Lane Doyle 14th, Jason Green, Sean Woodside 15th, 16th, Dylan Godinez, Andrew Harris 17th, 18th, and then rounding out the top 20, Spencer Brown and Sean.
P21, it'll be Joe Ruggles in the 96 machine. Zachary Tallman will start 22nd. Sean Merriman then in 23rd. Jeffrey Vickery 24th. Row 13 will be Connor Cunningham and Daniel Park. And shotgun on the field, P27 tonight will be Shane Ledoux. And that is how these 27 trucks who made the trek out into the center of the country, if you will start tonight's race. And so gridding has concluded. It's time to get this pace lap underway, JB. And last week it was Milwaukee. It was a flat 1 mile track, and both turns were relatively similar. There was curbing there too. You have curbing in these corners as well, JB. But the turns, it's more similar, I guess, in shape to Darlington, but they're really like vastly different. More banking in 1 and 2. Flatter sweeper 3 and 4. What can we expect tonight?
When I think of this racetrack and from when I raced it, you got to make sure you know which corner you're about to come up to. And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Kind of like Texas. If the corners are so completely different, if you're not paying attention and drive into them the wrong way, you can cost yourself big. And here, especially if you're side by side with another truck, it can be catastrophic. But it also means a lot as far as tire degradation as well, to make sure you know which turn you're approaching and how to approach it on entry. So guys like Kyle Spees, who are your guys who kind of manage the race a little bit softer, I think those are going to be the drivers that find a little bit more success.
Well, JB, it's been fun for us here in Texas. It's a little bit of a winter wonderland, but for the track, it's about to get a little hot out there tonight. And so, Drake Carty on the inside, Kyle Speed on the outside, green flag in the air. We are racing from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. One lap complete, JB, 114 laps to go. It's Cal Spees now out in front of Drake Carty as everyone tries to find their groove around the racetrack. You saw a little bit there as they were passing by Austin DeLong and Jeffrey Radke there in P4 and 5. They were running a little higher there in 1 and 2 as opposed to everyone else.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised to see that this early, but maybe if you know you can make up some spots right now, you're going to try it. Important note, Emerson, the 5 and 45 had to serve a drive-through penalty to start this event due to rules violations last week. So those guys, they're not going to quite be a lap down, but they're going to be about half to 3/4 of a track behind the leaders coming off pit road. So just something to keep an eye on.
Also, Shane Ledoux started from the pit lane. Looks like he's a lap off the pace. Not sure if that is also a result of actions from Milwaukee or just missed the start. Fastest lap of the day went to the 36 of Kyle Speed, but Drake Carty gets clear to the race lead, crosses up in front of the 36, and the Eibach number 59 is back out in front here at Gateway.
You know, I'd like to say surprised, but not really. See that to start this race. But we've seen Emerson him, start off real hot in these races, and then those guys behind him start coming to him. And I talked about tire management, but I think that's going to be key. Ooh, he's a little physical there for a second. Or I think that's just a product of turn 1. I mean,
yeah, Drake was sideways. He had downshifted down there. So Cal Speed takes the lead back.
Shifting. That's a big part of this track, Emerson, for sure. And we saw how good Carty is on the road courses, and when you think shifting, that's the first thing you think of.
And you're right, JB. Downshifting to turn 1 here at Gateway, very similar, I would say, to turn 1 at Watkins Glen. You're turning down into banking, except here you're turning left and doing the downshifting as opposed to right. So yeah, you're right. If there's a track that's going to suit Drake Carty, it's probably going to be this. He's had a little bit of a rough patch here in this season, JB, last 3 or 4 weeks. So good to see him kind of back to his ways from earlier in the season and contending early at least.
Exactly. And you talk about downshifting into banking. It makes me think a lot of Phoenix in its present format. While there's less banking in turn 1 here, it's a very, very similar style where you're having to battle that as well. And downshifting, as the tires wear, gets a little more sketchy and a little more sketchy. So it's just, you got to kind of manage it. And for some drivers, they like just driving it straight up without shifting, but then when they have to make a pass, they have that little bit extra they can call upon. So we'll have to keep an eye on who uses it when, and kind of maybe the drivers that are and are not, and how it kind of shakes out over the run.
Now looking at it, it looks like he has gone to not downshift just yet, JB, or maybe he changes that because of the early response from his truck, and that maybe it might induce a little bit of extra tire wear. And so now down into turn 3, Carty goes for the dive. Speeds tries to send it around the outside. It's the Eibach 59 and Threat Level Midnight Motorsports Lucky Dog Racing Machine in that 36 on the high side. Speeds leads at the stripe, but Carty not done yet.
Yeah, it shows you there's a little crossover here action by Speeds trying to get back to him, but it shows you this track, while not very wide, still has multiple racing grooves available to it. You kind of have a bunch of different options, and these guys are about using all of them so far.
Now, caution on the speedway. Looks like we will find Spencer Brown in trouble. just as Speeds and Cardi were really getting into it, JB. But we'll take a look and see what happened here for the first stoppage in action tonight. This caution being brought out here on lap number 8. So we'll see what happened here.
Any other trucks off the pace? Might be an isolated incident, which is always what you hope, right?
Would be good for us. So here's the look at it. It's a Spencer Brown racing Sean Corcoran. Corcoran actually had a great starting spot, so a little deeper in the field than the 74 wants to be. Just a lazy slide out of turn 2, JB, a little too much gas. Maybe
right where we saw Cardi get sideways. Same exact spot. And that transition of banking as it kind of flattens out on the backstretch. You know, colder your tires, the more treacherous it is, but sometimes if you just get in that throttle too early and too hard, it'll flip you right around.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we get back to the live action here, and not many takers to the pit lane. Got a few in the back: Drayson Kratke, Sean Merriman, Daniel Park, Connor Cunningham, Shane Ledoux, Sean Woodside, David Flanagan. Coming in for some maybe fuel stops, I would imagine. Nobody probably taking tires this early in the event. And so while the lights are still on top of the safety vehicle, we're going to take a quick step aside. We're going to hear a quick message from some partners here at Speed Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's top cut F11 for you.
Welcome, race fans, back to Madison, Illinois, virtually that is, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. The field is in the hands of the 36 of Kyle Spees. Green flag back in the air. Racing resumes from Gateway. Battle for second live here as Shane Wolf able to clear out in front of Drake Carty. The battle for fourth is what's really rising to the occasion. How about the 86 of Michael Sidor joining the fray as he battles the 3 truck of Jeffrey Radke, and everybody all under a blanket back here behind DeLong and Harris going at it. Green, and that would be the 89 there of Trevor Aswarnoff, and as well, Lane Doyle and Dalton McKenney in the mix. Wally Babb as well. Big gaggle trucks here off the restart.
Yeah, another pretty clean restart. It doesn't take drivers long to get kind of spread out here at the track.
Oh, the 89! Trevor Osbornoff goes off the track. Jason Green goes for an expedition, but we stay green.
Wow. Nice save by both those guys, because that's hard. That's hard to do right there, especially with that transition of banking and through the grass, which is extremely slippery.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job from everyone to hold on to their machines there. Speeds leads Shane Wolf, Cardi, Radke, and Sidor to top 5, 14 complete. And you can already see their Speeds fighting the truck again on corner exit. I think we're going to be seeing that all night. These drivers fighting for grip out of 2.
Yeah, especially anytime you fire off a new run for those first 5 or so laps. It's probably going to be the trouble spot to keep watching. Outside of that, your trouble spots become corner exit as those front tires start to not be as enjoyable as the run goes on, per se. And you can see right there from that shot we just watched, that safer barrier sticks out a little bit on corner exit. It's pretty easy to look. It's pretty easy to catch if you're not careful. You see it kind of right there as well, and so you're going to kind of watch that area, especially if you have some driver's side.
Battle for third, Radke, last week's winner, trying to go back-to-back. Radke clears Cardi with the crossover side by side. Radke fighting that truck up high, nearly putting it in the wall. They'll be side by side down the front straightaway.
Good battle here between these two. Last week's winner and a guy that's won a couple races this week or this year so far.
Yeah, a couple multi-time winners going at it. Radke now puts it back in the wall. Cardi emerges victorious in the battle for the time being. Battle for the lead now as James Shane Wolf sends it down to the inside of the 36 machine. They'll be side by side through turns 3 and 4. Shane Wolf try as he might still side by side out of 4. Speeds leads at the stripe, but for how much longer? The 14 to Shane Wolf is gonna bomb it in there into turn number 1. Speeds follows him right there. They're going blow for blow, side by side out of 2 now as they come out of the corner over the crest. Shane Wolf with the nose ahead.
Good of battles you can ask for here, Emerson. 2 drivers, always the class of the field that both race extremely respectfully, giving each other one heck of a battle, but also giving some room here early. Now, we talk about this same battle maybe 90 laps from now, different story.
They got way up there, way close to the wall. Shane Wolf takes the lead, but Speeds now down to the inside. Flip them and try it again. That's what we're doing here. Speeds down low, getting onto that curbing. Big run, 14. Shane Wolf, Speeds, sideways, above. Cardi lurking in the wings. Everyone singles it out for now, but for how much longer?
Yeah, and this has kind of created a 4, almost 5-way battle for the lead as Andrew Harris pops his head into the conversation. But that really got the 3rd and 4th spots to pull up to the lead here. And they're all going to be nose to tail here, completing lap 19.
So James Shane Wolf is the king of the hill right now as everyone fighting highly contested battles behind. The battle for second, they're getting a little hot and heavy as Speeds is sideways. Big run, 59. Cardi wants to go. Had to get out the gas a little bit. Nearly shoves Radke into the barrier there. And here comes Andrew Harris.
That's one thing. If you take a run, you give yourself up for an opportunity to kind of lose your spot in line. That's what happened to the 59. That's what allowed the 87 to get up in here. But Radke's not going to let him have it easily.
Fantastic stuff. Now Cardi goes for the send. Harris trying to stay to the inside, nearly into the side of the 3 truck is the 87. Cardi now down low of the 36. Cardi trying to make some magic as he'll get cleared for second. Radke holds tight over the 87. Now Radke goes on Speeds. The battle for third now. 36 and 3. 3 to the inside. It's 3 to P3 as here comes Andrew Harris.
Harris stuck his nose deep into the corner right there. I wasn't sure if he was going to get that to stick, but he does, and he's going to hang right on his quarter as they get into 1. That was also a good job by Harris a couple laps ago when he got into the side of the 3 to back off and let everybody get back gathered up, because he could have easily driven them both up in the outside wall, but probably realizes we're just into the 20s on lap count and plenty of race to go.
plenty of racing to go, but if you look at these guys, you wouldn't know it. These guys are absolutely laying it all out here. Now, Andrew Harris, a little bit of a blink moment there, a little bit of connectivity issue, but right there, Kyle Spees lost 2 spots in 1 lap, and it was nearly a third the next lap, but for right now, the race leader is James Shainwolf. He has a near 1 second advantage over Drake Carty. Carty trying to fend off a hard-charging Jeffrey Radke. Both of these drivers have won multiple times this season. Now sideways is Kyle Spees. He'll lose the 4th position. He'll have to regather himself as Andrew Harris takes 4. And here comes Michael Seidor. Seidor roars past the 36, and he looks to take P5. Austin DeLong now wants a piece of cake as well here. He wants P6.
Yeah, he was really sideways, because if you're having the tires smoke, yeah, that truck's all but turned around. Great job keeping it straight, but when you lose that much momentum, Emerson, you're going to lose, unfortunately, quite a few positions. I wonder how much of this, too, is a result of him racing the leader so hard early, and those tires just being really unhappy with the situation they've been put in, and unfortunately now he's paying the price. Rhythm, too, is a big thing. You know, especially at a track like this, you kind of settle into a rhythm. Having a sideways moment like that can kind of throw you for a loop for a couple laps, and it could take him a minute to get settled back in.
That, and, I mean, he was sideways. You said the smoke was coming out. I mean, those tires were on fire, JB.
Yeah.
That might have gotten a little hot where those tires might not be coming back.
Yeah, that sometimes you can damage beyond repair, right? Tires are self-healing if you try to cool them off, but only to a certain point. And when you get that sideways, that's really going to do some damage. We'll see if he can get any of these spots back. Because, I mean, he was running pretty good lap times, but you just wonder, Emerson, how much damage was being done to those tires at that time.
Well, if those tires are spent on the 36 machine, for the consumer, for the viewer, it was well spent on the action up front, but for the driver, Kyle Spees might be regretting that decision then. Now battle for 5th as DeLong and Seidor. Teammates, I believe, going at it for P5.
Yeah, this has kind of stacked everybody up right here. We were just checking Spees out there, but now you got Lane Doyle right here in this mix, Dalton McCanney, and then just a little bit further back, Scott Kalal. So all these guys kind of grouped together. Kind of like what we saw earlier. When you have a battle, it really can get all these trucks all bunched up together, because the pace just slows down so much when you're running side by side and don't have all that space in the corner to work with.
Big send, Austin DeLong, Seidor parking the bus on Kyle Spees. Spees was nearly driving through the 86 there on corner entry to turn 1. And so maybe a little bit of team games there from the D&G Motorsports duo, now sat 5th and 6th. But flip him, DeLong to P5, Seidor P6, and Spees wants him to get a move on. Lane Doyle trying to think the same thing as well. All this goes on, JB, by the way. The lead that James Shainwolf once had was over 9/10 of a second. Look who's here. Look who's knocking. Drake Carty in that Ibach 59 has found a save you time, number 14. And battle about to commence for the top spot here at Gateway once again.
Yeah, and you wondered how long it was going to take for this battle to heat back up, but Carty being a good short track racer that he is, it was only a matter of time. Radke's come up here with them, though, so, you know, it's not just Carty alone. But we'll see how highly contested this battle is on lap 29. Like I said, a lot of race left to go, a couple pit stops, plenty of action. You don't necessarily want to take yourself out of it right now.
Side by side, you see both of those drivers fighting sideways conditions, loose conditions. Coming out of turn 2, big send, turn 3. Carty takes the advantage. He closes off the crossover. Maybe he gets sideways as a result. Now, big run once again. Shainwolf. There'll be nose to tail as they head down the front straightaway. Shainwolf, does he have a lunge? No, he doesn't. Carty drives it off into turn 1. Way up out of the groove is the 59. Trying to diamond that corner, maybe. If the 59 can stick, the 14 is sideways. Shainwolf now under heavy-duty pressure from the 3 of Radke.
Yeah, these guys are driving these trucks at this point. I don't think any of them necessarily handle very well, but They're all still pointing in the right direction. I think Shane Wolf has done some degradation of those tires, and they're not going to hold up very much longer, considering how sideways we just saw them there a couple times. Looks like that's going to allow Radke to make some pretty quick work. But I was also very fascinated with that diamond shape that Cardi ran that corner just a lap or so ago. Yeah, it looked much like what you see the next-gen cars do here. You know, they kind of float up to the wall, they gear down, then they just drive it straight off the corner. And if that's what he was doing right there, that looked pretty good because it allowed him to get a half second on the other guys.
Scott Kalal had a moment out of turn 2, JB. He maybe spun, but found himself off the track. He returned to the racing surface, but lost a lot of spots there in that 23 machine. Back up front, though. Radke in second now over Shane Wolf. Andrew Harris, the driver, in fourth, trying to chase him down. Now these top 4, JB, they have quite opened up the gap to fifth. We're talking 2.5 seconds, the gap between Harris and DeLong. And so kind of seeing the tiers, if you will, coming into play here. A little bit of a hot and heavy battle here. This is the 88 of Godinez trying to fight off the 5 of David Flanagan. Flanagan, one of the drivers who received the drive-through penalty at the beginning of this race. The caution reset the field, kind of caught him back up, and Flanagan going at it.
Yeah, it's a good rebound from having to serve a drive-through, and luckily the track's big enough it didn't cost you a lap. So if you're going to have a start of the race penalty at any track, a bigger one is probably preferred. Last week it would have been a little bit of a different story, but all the way back up to 13th, looking for 12th. So he's already rebounded from that. But you made a comment about the top 4. You know what else those top 4 have in common? Wins. They're all up there in points as well. Oh. They've been the guys this year, Emerson. And I feel like no matter which racetrack we're at, we're talking about them. They just find a way to make speed and be there at the end.
Yeah, everyone up here has at least one win to their name. 2 wins for 3 of them. Actually, let me double check on Harris. Harris only has 1, but the other 3 have 2 wins, and so 7 wins inside the top 4. And you see the next winner, we're looking down at Lane Doyle down in 7th.
Yep. It's another week, another Lane Doyle running inside the top 10. So it's just how that works, isn't it? He's been probably the most consistent driver of the season. I believe, cause I'm unsure where he finished last week, but until that point, he had not finished a race outside the top 10.
You are correct. He finished 18th last week.
And, so that streak came to an end, unfortunately. But, hey, when you have that many weeks inside the top 10, you're not going to have to use very many drop weeks, and so that just helps you that much more in point.
So Shane Ledoux has called it a day today in that 12 machine. So 2 retirements from tonight's race so far. Joe Ruggles and Shane Ledoux will finish 27th, 26th, respectively. We work lap 36 of 115 here from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. And here comes Kyle Spees to pit lane.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about pit strategy or pit stops yet to this point, but we're getting close to that point. You see how bouncy that pit road is, too. Let me tell you. The entrance area to this pit lane is not smooth. So you just saw that effect right there. You do go a lap down here with a pit stop, but I'm interested to see what the time delta looks like on a pit stop, because there's quite a bit of fall off, but you are also battling traffic when you come back out from the pit lane. So it's not like at some tracks where you have a bunch of open space to really make those new tires do some work. So we'll see how it shakes out. Again, haven't been something we talked about, but this would be about splitting that race into thirds. So
just shy, yeah.
Yeah, just shy of it. So I kind of like this move by Spees, and we always kind of see him on the forefront of the strategy side of things. And more often than not, it works out for him when we get to the end of these things.
So Spees will lose 1 lap. Scott Kalal, the driver who took a little trek to the grass a few moments ago, he has hit the pit lane. If anyone needing tires, might be him. Might have slid them, and maybe get some of that grass. I know he's got some good lawn care there, Scott's Lawn Care, but not here. We don't necessarily.
That's not what he's looking for right there.
Yeah.
We have a
Caution on the
front stretch.
speedway. Trevor Oswornoff in trouble on the front stretch, and involved there, I believe, is the 84 of Sean Long, and that front end is heavily damaged.
Yeah, some smoke coming out of that machine. That might be terminal, unfortunately, for Sean Long. I was just about to make the comment that last time by the leader ran a 33.75, and then Spees coming off pit road ran a 33.78, so it was a second faster just on the outlap alone. We were getting ready to talk about that, but kind of shakes things up a little bit.
So here's the replay. This is Trevor Oswornoff trying to chase down the 84 of Sean Long. And they're trying to work past the 7 of Daniel Park. 3 wide as to come off the corner. Sean saw the 7 up there. Tried to give him more room, JB, but just came down on the nose of the 89.
Yeah, that's just a 3 wide situation at a narrower racetrack. There's room for all 3 trucks there, but with the line coming off the corner, it's kind of hard. And the 84 is doing his job here of recognizing that the 7's out there and not to squeeze him into the fence. You know, he's also got to know, you know, Trevor's beneath him. Trevor's doing a good job being as far left as he can go, though. But just some contact here off the corner. I wonder if Netcode actually got them together initially and maybe finished it off.
They were.
I think they would have made contact either way, but yeah, unfortunate sequence of events for these drivers. Good job by Trevor not to take it into the inside wall as well. Looks like he got it just a touch, but not really going to hurt that truck too much. Unfortunately, it looks like Sean Long paid the ultimate price for that one. Everybody does hit pit lane here, though.
Yep, pit lane busy, and 3 wide across the pit exit line. Carty beats Radke, Shane Wolf, Harris, McKenny, Doyle, DeLong, Sidor, Green, and Babb. The top 10 off pit lane, my goodness.
So Spees ended up getting the lucky dog here, which, yes, he's back on the lead lap. That's great, but unfortunately, that also requires you start at the end of the field. So he's essentially pitted early, which was going to ultimately help him, but now he just ended up losing all the track position. So that's the love-hate relationship a driver can have with strategy sometimes. you draw it up and you never quite know how it's going to shake out. And I've been a victim of that multiple times in my SRN career, where I was like, you know what, this is a race that looks like it's going to have longer green flag runs. I'm going to kind of play it that way, and then as soon as I decide to do that, there's a caution. So it kind of depends. It looks like the wave around is going to be handed out to Scott Kalal, so that should get everybody, I believe, back on the lead lap that is still making circuits.
I believe you would be right on that, JB. So, yeah, that would be 24 on the lead lap. Sean Long, the newest retiree to the race. He will be slotted in 25th. So, 24 Speed Race Network HairClub Truck Series vehicles still running. Drake Carty will have control of the restart from Jeffrey Radke, James Shanewolf, Andrew Harris, Dalton McKenney, Lane Doyle, Austin DeLong, Michael Sidor, Jason Green, Wally Babb, the top 10. Flanagan, Cunningham, Daniel Park, Godinez, Woodside, Merriman, Tallman, Brown, Vickery, Kratke, Corcoran, Oswornoff, Spees, and Kalal. The 24 is still running as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Racing once again for Madison. Drake Carty sends him down the 1. One lap removed from the restart, pretty clean there. And Shane Wolf now under attack from Harris. Radke lost a couple spots now, and Lane Doyle inserts himself into the top 5. And so here comes Andrew Harris. Big run on the 14 machine. Down the back, had a run, files back in line. Now Radke ascend to the 87.
And you got to play that fine balance right here about this is the best time to make as many passes as you can because everybody's bunched up. What we saw earlier with what happened to Spies, make those tires angry. It can end up costing you dearly just laps later. So very fine line these drivers are having to balance. Back here, though, it gets harder because everybody's so bunched up. You're probably running side by side like we see this little group right here. And the one thing you have on your mind is just trying to get away from some battles.
Yeah, and everyone has that mindset back here in the Hornet's Nest because more than likely, even if you clear them for now, you're going to be running in a pack most of the run. You saw it for a while there. Most of these guys were side by side deep into the last green flag run. And so, you know, you're more just trying to set yourself up better to be in this pack van to just get yourself single file and click off laps. And so battling here, that's Jason Green under attack from David Flanagan. This is for 11th. Connor Cunningham there as well. Sideways there for the 7 of Daniel Park. Good catch there from Daniel. Now under heavy duty pressure. Teammate Jason Green, they're going to box into 5 of Flanagan. They also have teammate Connor Cunningham there. It's a 3-man out of Park Brothers Racing. They are missing one of the Park Brothers, though. Dan told me today that... Oh, sideways! Kyle Spees in trouble.
Saves it. Good job by Jason Kradke, too, not to run square in the back of him. That's actually hard to do. It's hard to jump on the brakes and get out from under that, but he did a good job to make that a major incident right there. A couple drivers taking it off the wall right there as well, off the corner. Like I said, that safer barrier sticks out a little bit. Very easy to catch, and if you're in a battle with another truck, the last thing you're looking at is the wall. So
the first thing you might look at is your mirrors. Here comes Shane Wolf. He filled up Cardi's mirror. He runs down to the inside now. They'll be side by side in the turn 3. Shane Wolf trying to hold station there at the quarter panel to 59. Cardi trying to complete the outrun swing, and he does stay out there. He completes back ahead at a 14. And so Cardi holds station up top, the running order. Shane Wolf will have to back off and try again. Well, what VAT has done has allowed the 87 of Harris and the 3 of Radke to close that gap. They also bring along a friend of Lane Doyle. So here we go again. Cardi trying to take an IndyCar-like contact into turn 3. Cardi way up the track, nearly into the outside retaining wall. James Shane Wolf getting a little physical out in front. And so side by side across the stripe, Cardi leads. Shane Wolf back in behind. Here comes Harris on Radke.
Yeah, I think Shane Wolf decided to slot back in right there because he knows the gentleman's move. You drive it in and get in somebody's door. You kind of let them have that back. That's not necessarily the right way of doing it. Good job by those two. Harris was really sideways off the last corner as well.
3 wide.
And here we go, 3 wide. Lane Doyle's going to take it to the bottom. Harris so far makes out the best of this battle.
Fantastic stuff.
Exit. Yeah, this is some of the best racing we've seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me. I think we've been on the cusp of this at many races, but finally getting that settle-in moment with some of these drivers, and they're putting an absolute show on tonight for our loyal Speed Racing Network viewers that show up every week to watch some of the amazing racing. Yeah.
I have to admit, JB, I underestimated the track because I was not expecting this. We have had some great battles all day long.
You know, a lot of league admins kind of grimace a little bit whenever they see tracks like this because they know what it can turn into, but so far tonight's been pretty good. And these guys are doing a great job too. When you see them get sideways off the corner, the competition's doing a good job giving them a little room to operate. And that's very important because that's what prevents guys getting bottled up on corner exit and causing a lot of incidents. And sometimes, even though drivers don't want to hear it, the best thing is to do is just lift off the gas.
Absolutely.
We don't want to do it, but sometimes it's the only way out.
You know, you don't want to get yourself any damage. You know, you save them, and who knows? You might be in a position a little later in the race where you're sideways in front of them, and they may cut you the same break, you know? Not saying everyone will, but you know, what
like I
goes
said,
around comes around, and that can help.
Saw that
for good
gentleman's
things, too.
move with Shane Wolf earlier.
Yep.
He got into the side of the 59 and said, "Yeah, you know what? You can have that back right now. That's not the right way to go get it." And that's ultimately going to stick in the mind of Drake Carty, and he's going to maybe later this season and possibly in the playoffs give Shane Wolf a break, and that can be a huge thing for him later in the season. So all that does matter. Drivers have the longest lasting memories of anybody I know, so they remember those things, the good and the bad. So you definitely want to have more good things in there for sure.
And it's a mindset too, right, JB? You know, you're in there, right? You see that name in the relative. You see their colors, right? And you're just like, oh, I gotta, deal with this driver again, right? If you have a little bit of a, spat with them. But the same thing goes the other way, right? I definitely have remembered looking at that name like, oh wow, that driver, they cut me a break in Michigan. I won't, run them as hard as I normally would.
But then there's certain guys, I'm going to pinch every corner when they get to me.
Yep, exactly.
It's an ongoing battle, as they say. We have a car around on the front stretch that's going to bring out a caution on the inside wall. Looks like just a single truck. Yep, oh, that's dangerous.
Wow.
Okay, we made it out okay. That could have been worse. Just a single truck. Didn't look like he hit it very hard on the inside wall. So.
Yeah,
not the kind of damage we saw.
It was still in one piece.
Yeah, not the kind of damage we saw with Sean Long's truck earlier. He's battling with Connor.
Godina is down low, Cunningham up high for the third stoppage in action today. Very, very slight contact.
Almost had it saved as well. Luckily, he was pretty close to the inside wall when he made contact. So.
I don't know how much control Godinez had in that slide, JB, but instead of, spitting and nosing straight into the wall, he elongated the slide on the front straightaway. Definitely burnt up the tires more, but definitely did less damage to the truck. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like Connor was a little bit off the wall right there, and I wondered if he got loose off the corner maybe and was further down than the 88 expected. To get a good look at it here. Yeah,
I mean, look, he's coming up the track very, very high. Connor doesn't go all the way to the wall, but man.
That's the slightest of contact, too. Yeah. The 24 had room there, but if he got a little bit loose, you're going to kind of be a little further off the wall than you normally would. The 88's coming up. One of them, what do they call those? Racing deals? Probably.
Yeah, one of them racing deals.
I mean, good job, too, by, Dylan could have, I guess, stood on the gas even harder and probably wrecked both trucks, but chose to not, which is good. But we'll probably see pit stops here, I'd imagine. Everybody's going to come down and get another set. We had a decent run there.
So intriguing there, JB. 8 drivers stayed out.
Yeah, so I thought we hadn't opened yet, but I looked down and half the field's on pit road, and we're looking at the leaders. So there's Carty, Shane Wolf, Harris, DeLong, Sider, Woodside, Tallman, Brown. They out.
They all pitted. Cunningham wins the race off pit road. That race off pit road was Cunningham, Flanagan, Babb, Radke, Doyle, McKenney, Vickery, Merriman, Daniel Park, and Asmanoff.
We'll have 8 drivers with 16 lap older tires.
Yeah.
When we restart, which what we saw of the last run in I would say, what was that first run? We saw Spees pit on lap, was it 38, I believe? Something like that. We saw about a 1.5, maybe a 1 3/4 second fall off. You're talking about half that much time, but also a heat cycle. I mean, there's going to be a pretty decent difference, I think, in these tires. The best part for Carty and Shane Wolf is, though, they have a lot of trucks between them and the ones that pitted, so might give them a chance to maybe get out a little bit on them. But if this has the inkling to going green at all, because everybody's got to pit at least one more time, I believe.
Correct.
I think it's going to be tough for these guys that stayed out.
I believe it is a 1 stop left in the race no matter what now.
But now these guys that are on tires, if this goes green, can make that stop a lot later.
Yes.
And could build up such a big time delta that the up front runners right now can't make that up. And that's kind of the way I'm thinking through it right now. But obviously, never goes exactly how we plan it. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it differently here in a handful of minutes.
Yep, give it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. It's
Drake
snowing in
Cardi.
Florida today, so you never know.
And Texas.
That's right. It's all
Oh.
deep south.
Oh my goodness, man. It's a little late for a white Christmas down here, but we got it. Cardi, Shane Wolf, the front row, green flag back in the air, racing once again from Gateway. Did I see like 4 or 5 wide there in the heart of the pack, JB? They are all over one another back here.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, contacts!
And we're still not settled. You did because, the 90's around.
Zachary Tallman into the heart of the pack.
Yep,
No, that's gonna be a big one.
Ooh.
5, 6 trucks more up and over.
No.
Is the 88 of Dylan Godinez.
Heavy damage for speed. No caution, by the way.
No caution.
Interesting there. We do let iRacing control the cautions here on the service.
Oh my goodness. 6 truck pileup. Luckily it just cleared as the leaders are speeding to that accident scene. My goodness.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and look at it at our next stoppage. Now we do have a caution. Yep.
I wonder, is that natural or is that from...
I think it is natural.
Maybe missed the pit entry. You did mention how hard it is to get down there.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And that truck is badly damaged. So I also wouldn't put it past him that he just naturally missed the pit road as well. A
little bit to unpack here. The first thing we saw was the 90 truck was around in a, unfortunately, not a great position. But you talked about that 4 or 5 wide in the restart. That's just a product of multiple tire strategies. You got much faster drivers and behind slower drivers, and that usually doesn't end great, to say the least.
I did find the actual cause for the caution, but we'll take a look and first see what happened with the massive pileup that did not bring out a caution. And so we'll see it here. This is Zachary Tallman racing there, the 47 of Lane Doyle. And Doyle just a little quick to the center of the corner. Can't tell if they made contact, but what we do know for sure is the 90 did go around. And very quickly here, most of the field is going to be looking at his driver's side door number.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, all these guys behind him, there's just nowhere to go here. And the 89 kind of gets that initial contact. The 7 and the 36 makes pretty hard contact. Wally Babb looks like he gets the inside wall before he gets to Jason Green. And then all these guys are just spinning. I think Jason might get a little lucky here because I don't think the contact here with the 89 is going to be too bad, but it does flip the 89 over, which was interesting.
However, ours run off goes for a little bit of a slow roll and a half roll, roll and a half.
Yeah, roll and a half, I guess. Best way to put that. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he actually. Yeah, he did actually go. He went like 75% of a roll and went back on the tires.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh man,
that's an interesting one. You don't see that every time.
Oh, here we go. This one. The single's on the back straight. It'll be coming to you.
Yeah, kind of becomes a parking lot rather quickly.
Luckily, not more were involved in that one, and you're right. Not really many race-ending impacts there. So the caution then comes out. Jason Green goes for a slide here in turns 3 and 4. That's what brought out the yellow. Get one more look at the massive accident here coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, it just gets loose in that same spot. We've seen a couple trucks get sideways tonight. Including Speeds, and just fortunately right behind them you just have trucks. and hungry trucks too. You know, you're talking guys back there that pitted. They want to make the most of those fresh tires as quickly as possible, and when aggression meets calamity, it ends up being what you've seen here.
On board with the 89 of Aswardoff in his second start on the season, I believe.
Second or third. I know he subbed a couple times for the Rolo Tony team.
Well, not a good start to full-time action for the 89. Green flag back in the air. Carty leading Shane Wolf down the back straightaway. Battle now. They'll be side by side going into turn 3.
Yeah, they fired off green rather quickly there. But this restart much more orderly, it looks like. And these guys are not done battling up front. These top 4, man, I think they're just going to keep doing it all night. And we might be in store for one of those classic SRN finishes.
Big run here. Carty up high. Shane Wolf down low. Trying to make it in the middle there was Jeffrey Radke. And side by side down in the back, the 14 has no quit.
Ooh, a little contact on corner entry there. Nothing malicious, just I'm trying to go where you are kind of thing. And looks like Shane Wolf is going to make off the best from it.
But here comes Radke on those
almost had a shot at 3 wide there.
16 lap fresher tires for the 3 machine.
You're going to see that kind of be a big factor here rather quickly, I believe. I think you're going to see Radke get past the 14, and he might go a long way on these guys. But Carty's going to necessarily let that happen too quickly.
So Shane Wolf takes the top spot. Radke now, second sideways is the 3 machine. He'll hold on to it, but big time slide there. That's going to even out the tires a little bit into the favor of the drivers on older tires now. Carty trying to search to the inside of the 3 machine. A little bit of connectivity issues there for Andrew Harris. Allows Lane Doyle in contact between the top spot again.
You know, Emerson, I am surprised that Radke doesn't just has blown by these guys. Like, I'm surprised some of these older tires in the top 5 are still holding up. But I think you're seeing Lane Doyle make a little bit better use out of them. But I don't think it's going to be much longer. We're going to see a big difference. But take note of this for if we have a late race caution. Old tires might not be a death sentence.
So now Radke does get by the 14 of Shane Wolf. And so into the wall goes the 3.
Well, that's not going to help you no matter what your tire strategy is.
Ooh, nearly coming together there. More contact. Carty and Doyle.
Do a good job keeping it straight. Carty was trying to get around the slower start of the 3. Lane Doyle was there.
Radke was trying to turn down inside of that battle as well. So now Doyle, out of all that chaos, is going to really send it into 3. Carty almost didn't let him clear, but Doyle clears Carty. Doyle to second. Now Carty under attack from Jeffrey Radke.
And meanwhile, Shane Wolf's just liking all of this.
Loving it, absolutely.
Is he's able to keep it out front, and even though this is a smaller track, clean air still does make a difference. So he's going to try to soak that up as long as he can, but like I said, with the 16 lap different tires here between the 14 and 47, I don't think we're looking at much time here before a lead change.
Yeah, you see the downshift. Look at how hard Lane Doyle can drive it through the center of the corner. Big run here out of 2. Shane will hold station for now, but Doyle searching as they have 45 laps to go here from Gateway. Big
So
run,
much more
Radke.
center- Yeah, like there's so much more center speed out of those new tires for both the Radke and the Doyle machines, and that's being the difference right now from what I see between the guys that pit and the guys that not. Radke's using all the racetrack as well. I don't know how much of that is intentional, but every
I
little
haven't
bit
seen
he
Kyle
can get,
Larson
he's
use
using
that
it.
line.
You know, he did at the Chili Bowl. Right, we're not there. We're at Gateway.
Slightly different track surface.
Just a little bit, just slightly.
Battle here, McKenny wants a piece of Harris. They'll go at it for 5th. McKenny in the blue and pink cotton candy machine. The McDingers, number 46, trying to reemerge inside the top 5. Boy, it's been a tough season for the 46 machine this year, JB. So trying to get himself a good run.
Usually we're talking about him winning a few races, I feel like, and just from what I've seen being in the broadcast booth for the majority of the races this season, he's just get caught up in mess that's really not any of his own doing. And that's just how racing... Oh, Andrew Harris was super sideways there. That's just how racing goes sometimes, but I am positive we'll see that 46 in victory lane at some point before the season's over. But I think priority number 1 for him right now is just making the playoff.
Yeah, he's gonna fight harder than I think he's ever had to make the playoffs this year, man.
I agree. Yep.
With the many different winners we've had, yes, there's going to be points positions up for grabs, JB, but not many.
No, and then you think about how stiff that first round of the playoffs is going to be for competition. I mean, you're probably going to want to win one of those races to get through,
Right.
because after that round, you can't fall back on those bonus points, and so it gets a little bit harder. But we do go also into a lot of tracks that I believe Dalton McKinney's going to have a lot of speed at. So I think he'll be all right, but he's got to get through these next few races clean, and a 5th place run for him tonight would be just the right remedy.
It'd be good, but I think a better remedy would be getting up to these top 4, and he's moving and grooving. He's got fresher tires.
Yeah.
He's got the 3rd freshest tires up here, so I mean he's got a chance.
Yeah, and those fresh tires are just about 2/10 quicker from what I see right now, so not a giant delta. But I believe as we approach, more like 30, 25 to go, it's going to be a lot different. That center of the corner speed, though, Emerson, that's the difference, and we see it right there in the 47. Shane Wolf doing a great job, though, using the momentum on the high side to at least give him a fight.
Yeah, Doyle, great work to get to the inside. Shane Wolf doing fantastic defense up high, but now Doyle, it might just be too much for the 14 to handle. Out of turn 4, Shane Wolf nearly puts it in the wall lane. Doyle takes the lead. Cardi does still hold 3rd. And so Shane Wolf now going to try to keep the pressure on the 47, at least to try to maybe force a mistake out of him. But now 39 laps to go. We should be nearing that pit window here to make it to the end of this race.
Yeah, enough. 40 laps to go. Lane Doyle captures the lead from starting somewhere in the pack. I feel like we've said that before multiple times this season. and here we are again. He finds a way to just, no matter where he qualifies, just piece by piece.
Oh, here we go.
Yep, a little bit of a battle here. Radke got those tires quieted down a little bit from his excursion with the fence earlier.
Woo, big send. Jeffrey Radke sideways contact with the 59.
And Cardi, he had that wheel going all kinds of different directions right there to keep that truck straight. And looks like McKinney's going to be a beneficiary of that as well.
Everyone getting a little physical with the 59 now. I know, JB, the last few weeks, the 59 has been the physical one,
Yeah. Hey, what are we talking about? Driver's memory, right? You're physical with me. I'm probably going to give you the same treatment back when I get to you.
Oh!
And he's aggressive. Don't get me wrong. Does it the right, does it out of just competitive spirit, nothing malicious. But you're just not going to win the hearts of your competitors doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so,
it depends on the mindset you want. You're not here to make any friends. You're here to win some money, right? But, you can't always do that if you have enemies out there.
Yeah, that is very true. You're spot on with that comment.
So,
I'm interested to see what the 3 truck does here, though.
Yeah.
He's now settled into a little bit nicer of a groove. We saw him have a lot of pace earlier. I'm just wondering, did he do any kind of damage when he got to the wall? Because he did get it pretty good, enough to lose 4 or 5 spots. Has regained a few of them, but I think his first task here is to get past Shane Wolf so he doesn't let that 47 get away.
Yeah, Lane Doyle is loving every second that Shane Wolf is ahead of Radke, because Doyle just has fresher tires. He can outpace Shane Wolf just every single lap, little by little, and that opens up the gap. Now, Radke really is the main competition on this current pit strategy. Now, we'll have to see where the mix of pit strategies end up later in the race, but on this current pit strategy, it's Doyle, Radke, and McKenny, the ones that are really racing one another, while Shane Wolf and Carty are the others racing one another.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this final pit stop that we assume everybody has to make. Now, I didn't consider we did have a few caution laps in there, so is it possible for the guys that pitted on the last caution to stretch it?
Man, I don't know.
Could be tight. We've seen fuel strategy play a role in a few different finishes this year.
This track is tricky, JB, right? It feels like a huge track, but it's only 1.25 miles.
Yeah, exactly. And the later in the run you go, the pure more off throttle time you have, the better gas mileage you get. So, the first 10 laps you might be pacing to only get an X amount of laps out of the tank, but by the time you get to the end of the run, it actually stretches out quite a bit just because of the throttle time and input. So that's something to consider as well.
Here we go, Radke on Shane Wolf. Radke, he needs to get past this 14. Same with McKenny if they want any chance at the 47 right now.
Kenny might be the guy to watch here because if the 3 does have any kind of considerable damage to the right front of that machine, Kenny's going to be the truck in better shape.
Well, he's gone right around the 3 of Radke almost. We'll see here when they come up off the corner.
We'll get a real good run off the 3.
Sideways now is Radke. And I gotta say, great defense right now from James Shane Wolf, man. I mean, these guys have been hounding his tailgate.
And he's doing it all without throwing giant blocks and putting himself in a position to get wrecked, which is exactly all you can do is with playing good defense. We see it all too often that it turns into more of aggressive defense, and instead of just playing decent defense and finishing in the top 5, it costs somebody the race. So he's doing a good job with that for sure.
So big run here, McKenny trying to make it happen now. Nearly into the wall there is Shane Wolf. 1.5 seconds the advantage Lane Doyle has as the race leader. 2nd through 4th under a blanket. Big Sen 46 trying to make it worth. Shane Wolf doing what he can in the middle of the racetrack. And now, McKenny and Radke, they're battling one another, but they have to, if they're really worried about Lane Doyle, they might have to forego battling one another and work together to get past the 14.
Yes, I 100% agree with that statement because the 47's starting to gap it a little bit. He's about up to 1.5 seconds, just a little over it right now, and it's about a 10th a lap these guys are losing by battling. So if they want a shot at the win, I think they got to kind of sort this out quickly. You see McKinney kind of backing off right here. I wonder if he's just kind of go off the tires and reset. But for Shane Wolf to be on 16-lap older tires maintaining 2nd, I think is the most impressive part of this whole situation.
Absolutely.
But even Radke, getting in the wall, losing a few spots, just keeping his composure and battling back to get up to P3, I think is going to help him out a lot. Carty, he's sliding back a little further. You see him kind of in the backside of that screen back in 5th. He hasn't necessarily lost touch as well, but being on older tires, he's going to be struggling to make that gap up.
Now, Radke right here, big run. If he can keep those tires pointed in the right direction, not slide, Radke's going to have he has the run to the side of the corner. You clearly have more grip. You just have to place your truck correctly to take advantage of it. And every time he's got the best run, he slides out of the corner, the 3 truck does. "28 laps to go. While all this mind games, all these mind games
over the
happen.
radio, Emerson, the guys that haven't pitted for sure can't make it, but some of these guys that came down, not this last caution, but when we saw majority of the field pit, they're trying to stretch it right now. So Not sure if that's why you see maybe the 3 and 46 pacing themselves a little bit here. That might play into it as well. But then that makes me think about this driver right here, the 47.
Let's see.
On board, we'll see if he's saving. Not clutching it in. Still shifting, and that's going to take up a little bit more gas.
Yeah, if you're saving, you do not want to be shifting.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just trying to run as fast as he can, as far away as he can. Interesting. But those guys that did pit this last caution on 62, so you're talking about Daniel Park, Wally Babb, those guys are for sure good to go, without a doubt.
Wow.
So interesting. I just heard that over the radio and keep an eye on, but that means that Shane Wolf, Hardy, and Harris, they kind of need a yellow sooner rather than later if they're going to have any shot at a decent finish.
How about this big run?
Hard
Ascend. Can he
Right?
make it stick?
Don't think he's going to quite have him cleared.
Shane Wolf trying to keep the power down. Radke's got the nose. Side by side across the stripe. Another ascend into one. Neck and neck between the 3 and the 14. Radke's got to keep those tires happy. Shane Wolf has the advantage for now. Long back straightaway now. Radke trying to stay on that quarter panel. Big send once again. Right now, Radke has him clear.
I have him cleared here if he could keep up in front of him. Crossover attempt here by the 14's incoming.
Shane Wolf down low. Can Shane Wolf do something with the older tires?
Ooh, now
Send.
McKinney's going to say this is my best chance to get by the 14, probably.
Sideways in the wall is Jeffrey Radke.
I don't know how the 46 didn't hit him there, to be honest.
Wow.
And the way that truck's wiggling, he might have some suspension damage here.
He got it
Still off the
big
pace.
time.
Looks like he's still okay. Looks like that wheel is, depending on his offset, could be okay. Looks still pretty straight. But yeah, he got it pretty good, so definitely has some damage from that contact.
Now,
Not the one
Jeffrey
earlier, but
Radke.
what a job by the 46 not to just
Ooh.
pile right into the back of him, because that could have been really big for all three of those drivers right there.
Jeffrey Radke was battling for second. Just one lap ago, JB. He's now 9th. How quickly things can change in motorsport.
Yeah, exactly. Snap your fingers and it's going to change. We're soon to be coming up on the Rolex 24, and even though it's a 24-hour race, snap your fingers and in one event can make a giant difference in that race, and that's what makes it so fascinating. Spencer Brown here looks like he's coming in for regular service. He's one that stayed out, we talked about on that last pit cycle on lap 56.
That's why I did want to highlight him, is that he is on that same strategy as
Shane Wolf and
Cardi.
Cardi, yeah. Sure, so if that's telling of kind of how far they can go, these guys might be short behind. But if you're them, you got to run it as long as possible. You're hoping that something happens on track that brings the yellow back out. But if not, I mean, that's going to be we're going to finish on the backside of the top 20. Which is not going to be a good finish for some of those guys, but like you said, all those guys have wins as well, so not necessarily the end of the world for any of them.
That's true. They had the chance to gamble.
Yep.
How about Sean Woodside? Pleasantly
Yeah, I haven't talked about
surprised with the run for the 45. Also had a drive-through to start today's race. Sean Woodside, hasn't had the opportunity to showcase much of his talents to this point of the season. Sideways, McKinney spins across our camera into the inside retaining wall and no caution.
Pulled back up on the track, and yep, there it is. Caution comes out.
Oh, man. And this changes everything. He's one of those drivers who had fresher tires, but now he's got some big-time damage.
Yeah, and I'm wondering Because the caution didn't come out when he was in the grass, but I think when he came back up on the racetrack, I think that's what flagged it there. Maybe similar to what we saw earlier, you know, that incident didn't cause it down when we had all those trucks in the grass.
Well, let's see here what happened.
Timing of it.
McKenny got sideways and was finished off by Cardi.
Yep.
Cardi had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's hard contact there, too. That's definitely going to be some significant damage.
So I think him just approaching the track perpendicular to oncoming traffic would have to have flagged iRacing system to bring out the yellow there.
I believe that's going to be where it is, because that little like semi-spin once he got on the track, the caution was already out before that occurred. So I believe that's when it was, because that's about what I saw. Whole field's on pit road here, though.
Yeah, we'll take this last look. We'll get to the pit, race off pit lane. Little nudge, just a little nudge.
All it takes. Yeah.
Big. That's a big nudge.
On concrete too. Yeah, perpendicular to track, Emerson. That's a good way to describe that. And that's usually what triggers those cautions on the iRacing surface. I mean.
So, Lane Doyle.
Gas and go.
Comes out the pit lane.
Tires?
Yeah, big
He was
time.
on pit lane, but obviously was way out ahead of the field.
He was in the box for 6 seconds, which makes me think 2 tires.
I'm thinking 2 tires. Yeah, he wanted to keep that track position. Well, we saw pitting and not pitting, but we didn't see 2 tires. Everybody else behind him definitely taking 4.
So,
well, then we got a whole new ball game here with 18 to go.
Everyone has 4 fresh tires, except the race leader, Lane Doyle, in the 47 machine.
And we saw 4 old tires not be a death sentence, so I don't think 2 tires is the worst thing. The one thing I think about, though, Emerson, is what have we seen be the problem with trucks on the tires we've seen loose, right? And you take 2 tires, I'm thinking they're going to be right sides, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be even worse. So
yeah, if your left rear tire,
here.
If your left rear tire is the tire that's been giving you trouble or has heated up as a result of all that, hard battling on this very old abrasive racing surface, you're going to be in for a wild ride when you go into turn 1 or turn 3 at race speed next time around.
Yeah. So we'll see. If the 47, I believe, can kind of get off to a good start here, keep it gathered, and not have that issue, I think you'll be okay. I think with restarting with 16 to go, I think you'll be okay. But he's got to make sure these first couple laps are just perfect.
Look, obviously anybody can pull this pit strategy, but the drivers have confidence in making it work as a relatively short list. Lane Doyle would be on that list.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's see what happens. So the iRacing.com safety vehicle is in the safety of pit lane. The field in the hands of Lane Doyle. Here we go, 16 to go. One lap removed from the restart. Lane Doyle dropping like a rock, JB. Not the move to go for 2 tires there.
Yeah, and part of it, we got a little contact there. Part of it was just Shane Wolf's restart was absolutely perfect. And he got a great run, got by him, put him in a precarious situation. And the 47 just hasn't been able to recover, and he's still not. He's still going backwards.
He hasn't been able to get down to the bottom. He hasn't been able to take the corner the way he'd like. Sideways, the 7 of Daniel Park. That's going to jumble up the rest of the field. Here's the long end Park. Go at it. Now Park taking 3 wide. Scott Kalal was doing some lawn mowing earlier in the race. He's now going for a spot inside the top 10. How about 4 wide? Doyle does get the wall way out of the groove, way off pace as the 47 And so Lane Doyle all of a sudden in trouble, and Drake Carty just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 33.32 as he's in pursuit of James Shane Wolf.
And that's only 2/100ths faster than the 14. So both these guys are up on the wheel. All the top three were within 300ths of a second that last time by. Haven't talked about it. Andrew Harris is back in this ball game in third. And, if these two start getting a little rough and tumble, that 87 truck might be in the perfect position. We got a caution, car around. Looks like it might be DeLong in turn 2. No, that's Sidor in turn 2.
I was just about to say, JB, the 3 drivers who are on the older tires up inside the top 5 are the 3 drivers out in front right now.
Not what we saw or expecting out of the 47 there, but he just got put in such a bad situation by how perfect Shane Wolf's restart was.
Right.
He could have done. Take a look at what happened here with the 86.
So he's running by himself. A little bit of contact behind Cunningham and Spencer Brown, and Sidor just sends it off into turn 1. Oh my goodness. Just ran over by Connor. Need another look at that one.
What I saw first in that clip, Emerson, it looked like an 86 wiggled on corner entry. I wonder if he got loose on entry and then just kind of slowed up in the middle of the corner, because I don't believe that Connor would be able to drive it in that hard in the corner. We'll get a good look at it here.
Yeah, let's listen here. I think he bogged down on the downshift. Yeah.
Yeah. That might be what it was, because we haven't seen anybody drive it that deep in all day.
Yeah, and I don't think Connor was no disrespect at all. I don't think Connor was in a in a bind there to try to get past the truck he was passing right there.
I agree 100%. Because it just looked like the center corner speed on the 86 went way down. And I think he's a little sideways there, honestly.
Yeah, he is sideways to everyone else for sure.
And you see right there that little twitch, and that's when you see the truck just start to back up. He's still sideways, actually.
Yeah, sideways. It's bogging down, and Connor he's running that line. I know where to go.
Well, and it's hard if you're the 24 as well to just slam on the brakes, because you have trucks right behind you as well, and you don't want to get run over. But good job by all these guys, too. Good job by Sidor just locking it down on the brakes and holding it right there, let everybody get by him. So, just heard over the radio, Shane Wolf's going to take the outside on this restart. That we haven't heard that by a leader all day today. So, interesting note there.
Drivers to pit this caution. Connor Cunningham, I'd imagine, for damage. Lane Doyle, I'd imagine, for 4 fresh tires.
Those tires you wanted a few minutes ago?
The other 5.
And this caution's not the worst thing for him, because he's probably going to gain back a handful of positions here and be better off than where he would have if that would have continued. So he's not in that bad a shape. Honestly, the top guys are also a little less concerned because they don't have to worry about a guy in the middle of the mix with any less on tires. So now with under 10 to go, it's going to be gloves off, and we said they were giving each other space earlier. I think that time has come and gone. It's going to be a full contact sport, I think.
Also, last note on Lane Doyle. He's the point leader. Drop weeks are starting to count on Sim Racer Hub. He's got a good lead. He can burn a week. He's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, good point there. He's going to be fine, and he's got a pretty nice point lead as well.
Yeah, a couple wins. He's a-okay.
Yes, 100%.
So, 9 laps to go with the restart. It'll be James Shane Wolf electing outside after a phenomenal restart last time. Carty inside. Harris, Merriman in the top 5, and Flanagan as well. Woodside, Babb, DeLong, Spees, and Daniel Park. Green flag back in the air. 9 laps to go. heart of the corner. Caution's gonna come out. Kyle Spees into the outside retaining wall, and looks like he might be the only one involved.
I don't know, Emerson, how that was a single truck incident, to be honest with you. But it was. It doesn't look like too much damage on that 36, so he might be okay. I'll talk about what I'm hearing from race control here in just a second, but we'll go ahead and look at this incident before we get to that.
Yeah, so here's the overhead, and I mean, you just kind of, for those who understand what's happening, right, you kind of expected this. Look, by the way, look at Lane Doyle shooting up through the middle there, trying to gain all those spots.
He knows if he only gets those tires for 10 laps, he ought to use them.
Yep. Net-coated contact,
yeah, that's what it looks like, too. Maybe they would have made contact eventually, but I don't think it would have resulted in that.
Right.
All right, just got word, penalty 59, Drake Carty.
Ooh.
Jumped the restart box, so he has been black flagged. That is going to be a drive-through penalty upon green flag. It happened on this last restart. Admins reviewed it. They did confirm that is the right call. He will have to serve that penalty when we go back green. So that's a big development in the results of this race.
Well, here we go. This is the restart. Now we don't have live speed from this.
Look at that Geico sign there on the wall. That's the box.
The double red lines right here. That's pretty much it. Carty. Well, actually, yeah, he's rolling already past Shane
the leader,
Wolf.
And he's not getting pushed.
Yeah, I mean Shane Wolf waited. As this is right. The restart zone is all fair game for the race leader. And he waited until like the last G in that last Geico, but it's in that restart zone, and Carty was rolling past the leader, and that would be the penalty. See if we can find one more look at it. This might be a little bit of a better look, because this is inside the racetrack or the racing surface. One more. Try it again with that. So here's where they come down to the restart zone.
And you have to think about, too, the 14's not allowed to necessarily just slow down here either, which I don't think he does because he's not getting pushed either.
Right.
If he were slowing down, you'd see, is that Merriman behind him?
Yeah,
right
he never hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. The 14 was the controlled truck. And Carty decided he was going to lead the restart.
Yeah.
So, this part is intriguing now. Carty was not getting lined up next to Shane Wolf. Now he is. So, now I wonder, how aggressive is Carty going to be on this restart? Or, you know, what is Carty going to do on the restart knowing he's got a penalty coming? And will he be able to get down the pit lane in one piece?
Yeah, you know, he should just be able to duck down on the backstretch, take the access road to get on pit road safely, but we'll see what happens. But did get confirmation the penalty does stand. They did review it.
Shane Wolf, Carty, Merriman, Harris, Flanagan, Woodside Park, Babcock, Law, Radke, green flag, 5 laps to settle it here from Madison, Illinois. Drake Carty not heading the pit lane that time by. He'll stay in second. Shane Wolf leads now, a quarter-second advantage, and they are jumbled up behind.
Yeah, we got trucks all over the place here. Lane Doyle's pushing Scott Koloff for all he's worth, trying to get by this group here. No avail so far, but yeah, that's just a cluster of trucks right here.
Absolutely. Everyone piled up on one another. 3 wide down the back. Radke, Park, and Doyle. Doyle back inside the top 10. Now Doyle roundhousing the 7 machine. Carty staying out now. Oh, contact!
Park sideways, gets Cunningham.
Teammates. Going around on the
no.
front straightaway, Connor Cunningham and Daniel Park.
We have a Park Brothers Racing disaster on the front stretch.
Yeah, one Park brother didn't make it in time for the race. Two of them get in trouble here. Man.
Already still not served his penalty, FYI.
He has
I don't know
one
if
more
that's in
green flag
protest.
lap.
Yeah, that's... iRacing will stop scoring you after so long, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. But, it looks like either Dan Park got the wall, got loose, got some help off the corner, but his truck was just pointed the wrong direction on corner exit. Yeah. Contact there.
Sideways, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sideways.
Of all trucks to
Side
collect
door.
his teammate. Oh, and Tallman
no.
misses a parked truck on the middle of a straightaway. And runs right into him.
I wonder if... I mean, I think that 7 truck would have been okay without that that damage from the 90, but I think after that contact, that might be all she wrote.
Yeah.
7 truck. Connor, unfortunately, just an innocent bystander here. Side door as well.
Yeah, side door, big hits there, and then...
Good job by those guys on the inside just to get by nice and easy. Is that Vickery back there that's slicing and dicing through all that stuff?
He
We might
slid right
have to,
oh my
have to
goodness,
check the little onboard camera of that.
somebody's tailgate went sky high.
I think that's the 7's tailgate we saw. Just get absolutely launched.
Yeah, I guess sent back to pit lane.
Yeah, we haven't had it like a ton of incidents to look at, so we haven't had a lot of cool wreck avoidance onboards to see, but
This will be intriguing, JB, because now we're gonna go into overtime. This is now an official overtime attempt. And Drake Carty does have until the white flag to make it onto pit lane to serve a penalty. I guess the way he doesn't have to serve the drive-through, JB, is if we get cautions and the race ends under caution on a third green white. That'd probably be the only way.
yeah, I'm gonna check in with race admin real quick to see what the call is. I'll be right back with you.
No problem. So this is our 8th stoppage in action today. And this is now officially a green-white checkered. As they cross the finish line now, that would have been the end of the race. But we are now into SRN overtime. So it'll be 2 laps to conclude this race. And so Drake Carty's still not lining up alongside the race leader. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is for the 59, but he did definitely jump the restart. And so this will be a 2-lap restart. They will take the green flag first, then it will be white flag, and then the checkered. But if they get a caution before the white flag, we will re-rack them. We'll do it again. We have 3 attempts at Speed Racing Network overtime. And so I'm not sure what the game plan is for the 59 of Carty.
He's gonna have to serve the drive-through penalty. He just got confirmation that's the case, so he's gonna have to do it within 1 lap here.
Yep, 1 green flag lap. So Carty just has to make it onto pit lane, past the commitment cone before the white flag. Well, actually, I guess before he crosses the line. The green flag back in the air. It is overtime racing from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. A fantastic start for Shane Wolf. In the battle for a second rages on. Carty slams the wall down.
And he's gonna have to try to find a way to get to the bottom, but I don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's not gonna find a safe way to get down there. So Carty's gonna have to miss pit lane. All the while, out in front, it is James Shane Wolf coming off of turn number 4. 1 lap to go here from Gateway. James Shane Wolf has a 0.8 of a second advantage over Sean Woodside. The battle for second is Harris and Woodside. They do battle here at Gateway. And contact, the 45
Contact.
is gonna go round. David Flanagan shoots up to second. Here comes Scott Kalal.
I haven't talked about Scott other than mowing the grass, and here he is contending for a podium finish.
All the craziness and potential carnage behind, but it's going to be James Shane Wolf winning in Illinois. Flanagan second, and Scott Kalal with his first podium on the season. Oh man, Scott Kalal.
What a story this has turned into.
Yeah.
What a race, Emerson. I mean, we had moments in here, but wow, what a complete event, from strategy to a green-white checker finish, and ultimately at the end of the day, Shane Wolf, he's going to be the standalone with 3 wins on the season.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What was this race?
I don't even know. I don't think we know. He's going to burn it down, though, on the front stretch, as he should. And, you know, we weren't sure about how the strategy was working, but what large part led to him winning this race was the defense he played when he was out there with no tires, because he was able to keep a certain amount of track position. So when everybody came down pit road, you know, he started right there up front, and with the beneficiary of probably a penalty, but he did everything right in that situation. So all you can ask for.
Absolutely 100% hands down. James Shane Wolf's defense played a huge factor in him winning this race tonight. I mean, older tires, 16 lap older tires, been some, I mean, very, very competitive race trucks, very talented drivers hounding his tailgate. And James Shane Wolf, Save You Time, number 14 truck, is the one that comes out on top tonight here from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. What a phenomenal turn of events tonight. And you're right, JB. He is the first driver with 3 wins to his name this season. And so we'll take the opportunity here to speak to our race winner, driver of the number 14, James Shane Wolf. Feel like we've been talking to him a bunch recently. And so we'll go ahead and bring on up driver to number 14, race winner, James Shane Wolf. 3rd win on the season tonight. It is your heroic defense tonight, James, that really puts you in prime position to take this one. How about it?
Man, excited. That was nice. First and foremost, I hate that for Drake, getting penalized there for jumping the start. You know, I honestly, I seen him start rolling fast, and was like, all right, well, if you're gonna jump, I'll wait, and just maintain 55. You know, had the thought to do that, so I was proud of myself for that one, because normally I'd start spazzing out there and jump on the gas and give him that, and be able to maintain my composure there and not go until I was ready. Save me. I hate to win it like that, but sometimes you got to play it by the rule book, you know.
I mean, that's all you can do, right? Everyone gets the same rule book. Everyone has to play by the same rules. And James, you're the one that, you know, put yourself in position. But I don't even want to say it was too bad. It's, of course, you know, it plays a factor, but really it's your defense. In the middle of the race, James, you had, I mean, some of the best drivers in this series hounding your rear end with 16 lap pressure tires, and you held them off. What's going through your mind through all of that, and, you know, how were you doing that?
Just driving out of the windshield, man. Not looking in the rear view. They had to pass me, you know. So as long as I held my line, I felt like, you know, I was in control. So they had to figure out a way around me, and that's what I tried to do. I tried to maintain my line and not be all over the track, not make them guess where I was going to be. And luckily that line, you know, is pretty good from a defensive standpoint, being able to get runs out of the corner and being able to hold them off. So yeah, man, just keeping my head down and, you know, looking out the windshield instead of the rear view.
Well, James, we're getting pretty used to speaking with you in these post-race interviews. Coming up next, though, is Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Raceway. What do you say about your chances there, man?
I'm pretty confident. I love the short tracks, man. So, I mean, this isn't considered a short track, and neither was Milwaukee last week, but they're both tracks where you really got to work the corners, and IRP is the same exact way. All three of these tracks, these last 3 weeks, and this upcoming week here, you really got to drive the car. You got to blow the car down. You can't overdo it. You can't overcook it. You know, so they all drove like short tracks. And well, like I said a couple weeks ago at Milwaukee, you know, that's my bread and butter. That's what I joined the iRacing service for, and kind of what I cut my teeth on. So I'm excited for it. I like my chances. I think we'll be strong. Hopefully we can steal another one away out there.
Well, James, now you make yourself the lone driver with 3 wins to their name here in this 7th season of SRN HairClub Truck Series Racing. And the playoffs quickly approaching. So, James, you have put yourself in some prime position here. You continue to intend to prove upon that. Congratulations, then, on your 3rd win on the season. Best luck to you in the coming weeks.
Thank you, sir. Real quick, got to give a shout out to all my sponsors. Alex to Save Your Time there in South Hill, Virginia. Adam Katz at Elite Entertainment for all he does for me. Brian Easler at Easler Electric. John at Nifty Lift. Drew at Transcendent Designs. All you guys up here in the booth. My dad for tuning in. My old lady for tuning in. And tomorrow would have been my mother's birthday. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago due to COPD. So I'm going to dedicate this one to her. Really, really happy to be able to get it for her. Even with it just being on a sim, man, she was my biggest fan when we raced in real life. So to be able to knock one out for her right in front of her birthday, dude, it feels really good. You know, shout out to you guys up here in the booth, everybody behind the scenes at SRN. Yeah, I appreciate everything everybody does here, man.
Well, absolutely. And then in that case, James, you celebrate hard, man. You deserved it. You worked very, very hard for this one, man. Congratulations once again, and best luck to you then in the coming weeks.
Thank you, sir.
And so that was driver of the number 14, our 3-time race winner this season, James Shane Wolf. And JB, you got 2nd place, David Flanagan from pass-through to podium.
Yeah, let me bring him on in. Driver the number 5, 2nd place finisher tonight, David Flanagan. David, talk to us about the evening. We saw you kind of all over the place, up, down, through the field. We were kind of lost in strategy, and then we look up in the 5 trucks in the top 5. Tell us about how you ended up right there.
Yeah, a lot of adversity tonight. Served that drive-through early on. Just kind of managed, try to stay on the lead lap. Ended up doing that, and from there it was just one at a time. Just start picking through drivers, and that's what I did. I had the fuel strategy played out. I would have finished at least top 5 if we would have went green there. I don't think them boys would have been able to save enough. And yeah, had a couple of things go our way, and obviously that last lap, them 2 guys getting together helped us out a lot. But just glad to get a good finish out of it, honestly, especially after last week.
Yeah, and we have a very interesting stretch of races here. You got the Milwaukee Mile, Worldwide Technology, IRP next week, and then Kentucky wraps up the regular season. So, you know, you have some wins, so you're in the playoffs. When do you start looking at those playoff tracks? Is it now that you start preparing, or are you still concerned about IRP in Kentucky the next couple of weeks? Because you want to seed yourself higher in the playoffs to get with the bonus points.
I've never really raced IRP, so it's probably one of those things. I just want to get a top 10 and chill. Kentucky, definitely want to do good there, and then after that, it's just, I'd say, it starts now, obviously. Everything I do, I don't really prep much. I don't get a lot of time to prep, but, you know, I'll get my runs in and make sure I'm good to stay consistent and just be up there at the front and have a chance, just like tonight.
Sounds like a plan, man. So before we send you back to your team to celebrate your 2nd place finish tonight, anybody you'd like to thank for your efforts on a week-to-week basis here?
Yeah, everybody over at my team here at SRN, the Rollo Tonys. I'd like to thank all them guys. Trev for filling in. I know he had some bad luck, got a UL there, but he's an honest guy. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean it. Obviously JSR and all of my friends over at Chrome Racing and all them. And yeah, thank you all for the broadcast, and share is stellar, and I'll watch it back tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats on second place, and we'll see you next week at IRP.
Yep. See you, man.
And so that is our second place finisher, driver of the number 5, David Flanagan. And this is a driver I know he has been working oh so hard week in and week out. I still remember racing you, Scott, and so I know how hard you've been working for this one, man. Congratulations on your podium, man. How did you get this one done tonight here at Gateway?
Well, I think it took me about 100 laps to figure out how to drive this place for one. Never been here before, obviously 2 very unique ends of the racetrack. Hard on the brakes, getting the car to turn, back on the gas, trying to keep the rears under it. And I think the track maybe rubbered up a little bit at the end where I could get down on the pedal off of 4 and just mat it. It's kind of what I was looking for all night, but obviously it was a struggle, and it finally came to me there at the end. And a couple of guys had some trouble in front of me and whatnot too, but I would have liked to have seen what we could have done with another restart, but not what we were looking for, but certainly take the 3rd and build off that. It's been a tough season for us.
Well, absolutely. I know you wanted more, but it's been a minute since you've been able to snag one of these top 5s for yourself, Scott. What does that mean to you? Is there a momentum shift now with this, knowing like a reaffirmation that yes, you can be competitive, you're going to be contending this season? What does this finish like this do for you?
Yeah, I think it does give you some confidence. We started the season pretty strong, but didn't have the finishers to show for it. Just a lot of bad luck. And then we just started running bad. Didn't really perform. So, yeah, I was definitely looking for a finish like this. Sometimes, you run 10th or 15th, you start to question your abilities a little bit. But I knew it was there. I knew we'd find it. Just, it's been frustrating this year, so we can certainly build off this.
Absolutely. And I've noticed that, Scott. Coming up next is IRP. A similar-ish style track. I know it's about half the length, but more or less a flat track. You can search a little bit for your line. What do you say about your chances there? As we're kind of in a stretch of difficult flat ovals right now.
Yeah, I think it'll bode well for me. I like the short tracks. I like Richmond. I like tracks where you can move around and find the groove. The shifting thing here with these long straightaways, I'm not a big fan of. Never have been good at shifting. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to next week. And I think we can have another strong run there and put ourselves in a position here. So.
Well, Scott, I know you do it right, man. You're one of the cleanest drivers I recall from when I was racing, man. I'm supposed to be impartial, but I've been rooting for you to get one of these podiums, man, because it's been a minute. So I'm glad you were able to get it, man. Congratulations on the podium, and best luck to you as you continue to try to trek towards these playoffs, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Emerson. Hopefully we'll get back up there and give you guys something to cheer for.
Absolutely. And so that is our 3rd place finisher, driver of the number 23, Scott Kalaw. And yeah, again, I truly mean that, man. Scott, you can hear it there too. One of the nicest guys in the field. He always does it right. And yeah, man,
Don't get me wrong though, hard guy to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, we're racing against him. I mean, he's a guy who he's the Ryan Newman of SRN.
Sure.
Is the best way to put it,
yeah.
right? Super detailed racer. Puts in that effort to be quick. Doesn't just lay over for anybody, but doesn't do it dirty. Like you said, he's gonna make it hard on you, but he's not gonna rough you up. He's not gonna drive you down to the grass. He's not gonna throw a bunch of big blocks. So, just as thrilled as you are to see him get that podium, I am too tonight. He's been around here a long time.
Yeah.
You've raced against him. I've raced against him.
And we
love it here at SRN. Yeah, we love it here at SRN too, that we see drivers be here that long. I mean, I'd say there's a good 10 or so drivers in our field
sure
that have raced 4+ years with us, and anytime you see those guys have a little bit of success, it's hard to be unbiased up here in the booth when you see them, because how long they've been around. And And so that's just a feel-good story of overall, I think, a fantastic race we had in front of us.
Absolutely. Start to finish, it was a very, very fun race today. I think you can even hear it, man. I'm smiling. It was fantastic racing up and down the running order. We had pit strategy. We had shifting on an oval. That was pretty crazy. We even had a little bit of calamity just to get your little bit of a chaotic taste going. But it's James Shane Wolf gained the victory tonight for his 3rd win on the season. He stands alone atop the season wins list, and so we'll see if anybody can join him before playoff time. David Flanagan will finish 2nd, about a second back off the lead. Scott Kalal, I have to remember, I think he is the only Canadian in the field, the only non-American in the field. Finishing 3rd tonight is that in that Scott's Lawn Care number 23 machine. Andrew Harris will finish 4th, and Sean Merriman also garnering himself a very, very nice finish. He will finish P5 tonight in that 18 machine. Lane Doyle will finish in 6th position. Wally Babb then in 7th. Dylan Godinez will finish 8th. Jeffrey Radke, after contending for the lead early today, catches the wall and really kind of sets himself back. He will finish 9th. And Kyle Spees, despite a late race spin into the outside retaining wall, he will finish in 10th.
Finishing 11th, Austin DeLong, Sean Corcoran 12th, Spencer Brown 13th, Jeffrey Vickery 14th, Jason Green 15th, Daniel Park 16th, Connor Cunningham 17th, Sean Woodside 18th. The rest of these trucks more than 1 lap down or have retired from the event. That starts with Michael Sidor. 19th, Drake Carty ends up 20th after serving that penalty on that restart.
Yeah, rest of heartbreakers though. Zachary Tallman 21st, Jason Kratke 22nd, Dalton McKinney, another driver who was very, very fast today, unfortunately not getting the result he wanted. He'll finish 23rd. It'll be 24th for the 89 of Trevor Arzornoff, and his first full-time start, designated as a full-time driver, but I believe a 2nd or 3rd start on the season for him. Sean Long will finish 25th, Shane Ledoux 26th, and Joe Ruggles will round out the field. 110 laps off the pace tonight. He will finish in 27th. And so that is how the 27 Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series vehicles made it to the checkers, or didn't tonight. And yeah, it was quite the fun night. Like we mentioned, fantastic battles, using both high and low, crossovers, everyone slipping and sliding, having to use the full extent of the racetrack and then some. 3 and 4 wide. We had dive bombs. We had, long setups. I mean, fantastic racing stuff out here. At a track, I'm gonna be quite honest, I wasn't necessarily thinking we were gonna get a chaos race like we did last week. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought it was gonna be a little bit more boring. We got fantastic racing today. Gateway definitely proved me wrong, as opposed to what I was thinking coming into today's race, man. And yeah, very pleasantly surprised, and pitch strategy and everything, man. It was a fun night.
Yeah, I agree with you. I logged on this evening. I was like, ooh, I don't know. This could get kind of interesting. This could be a stop, start type of event. But the guys did really well, just, lifting when they needed to lift, giving each other a little extra space early, and that's what ended up developing into a good event. Of course, we saw kind of green-white checkers late, a little bit more calamity, but at the end of the day, it made it for a very exciting race. It also, it's a little relieving too for an admin staff to go, okay, we're getting close to the playoffs, and these guys are starting to get it on the racetrack. So all those are pointing in the right direction. I think we have a really good end of the regular season set up with IRP and Kentucky. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, got 2 fantastic weeks remaining.
To that point, JB, I think in past seasons, some of the best races have been, right before the playoffs, or the first few races of the playoffs have been the sweet spot for some fantastic races, both clean wise and racing product wise. And so I think, we're hitting that sweet spot in the season. Hopefully we can continue that up at have to admit, very difficult track coming up for these drivers. I know I said that the last 2 weeks, but this one is the Indianapolis Raceway Park, JB. 2/3 of a mile, very flat, very difficult to run. You'll see most of the time the racing line is up by the wall, Very, very intriguing. We'll see what these drivers can bring to the track next time out. JB, any departing thoughts before we leave Madison, Illinois, and Worldwide Technology Raceway?
I think it's time for next week. I don't know how quick can we get there, Emerson?
Yeah.
is it too early? No, I just 100% on everything you said, and it's early to start looking at playoffs, but you look at the tracks that are in it with Chicagoland, Atlanta, Dover, Nashville, Michigan, Charlotte, and Legacy, Phoenix, and Texas. Man, you know how some of those tracks have been in SRN history for races, so I think we got a pretty good couple months set up here as we go into the spring season. But if we can have more races like what we saw tonight, we're definitely headed in the right direction. So strongly encourage everybody that's watched tonight, please thumbs up, subscribe, helps us out. And Emerson's about to talk to about our partners. Supporting them helps us out big time as well. And IRP next week is going to be something you're going to want to see.
Absolutely. A huge shout out to all of our partners here at SRN. HairClub, of course, take control of your hair loss today at HairClub. Their total hair solutions can help you keep, regrow, or restore your hair, and you can speak with their hair loss specialist today. Make sure you use code SRN10 to save 10% off of your HairClub order. We heard from ThermoPro during the break with ThermoPro. Make sure you use code ThermoProTeam for 15% off of your ThermoPro products. Admin Box, of course, is built by iRacers for iRacers, with the goal being to make race control as easy as possible. Each admin box will connect via USB and features pre-programmed commands for race control, driver function, and pit options. It has LED backlighting to make the buttons more visible in any situation, and make sure you use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, to save 10% on your admin box order. And we also heard from Premier Racing Setups during the break as well, but make sure for Premier Racing Setups you use code SPEEDNETWORK15 for 15% off of your Premier Racing Setups purchases. And so that'll do it for us tonight here from Gateway. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us next Tuesday night as the HairClub trucks head to the Indianapolis Raceway Park for round 15 on the season. From all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching.